This upcoming Monday, July 13th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, KITH has collaborated with Looney Tunes, or I believe they're owned by Warner Brothers, to release a 80-piece collaborative collection. But this is a huge collection, and I believe the significance of the 80 is to commemorate the 80th anniversary of, I want to say, either Bugs Bunny or maybe it's just Looney Tunes in general. That being said, with 80 pieces, we have everything from plushes to sneakers to knit sweaters to some really cool vintage-esque tees, I suppose. I personally think this is a really cool collection, and I was kind of waiting for them to announce like KITH and Tommy spring summer 2020 or something, and it makes sense that they hadn't up to this point because you know, obviously 80 pieces, a lot of work would have gone into this, and with the designs it really does look like they put a lot of work into it. And also with the 80 pieces, I don't think everything's been shown off so far. When I was looking around, I couldn't really find anything on KITH where they really showcased it. They do have like a Bugs Bunny lookbook, but even that is all like just graphic design. But we're just going to be looking at teasers, or I guess like leaks or something that have been posted by either Ronnie or KITH, and that's what we'll be looking at. I guess that's all we have to look at this point. So to start things off, like I said, they have this Bugs Bunny lookbook, and here you can see a knit sweater that we will see later, and even the pants and the hat are collaboration pieces, I believe. I think I saw the sweats teased. I'm not exactly sure about the hat since there's nothing on it, but I don't know. Moving forward, we have a little bit more of an interesting graphic on the hoodie. I think this is, you know, something we always see from KITH, or something like very KITH-esque that we see, where they got the KITH box logo and then they got Bugs Bunny sitting on top of it, but the KITH logo is turned into like a carrot. Pretty hard to tell just from this image, like from how small it is for you guys. I'm sure it's hard to see, but I've zoomed in and done the liberties for you, and I personally think this is a cool design. It'll be interesting to see if they put it on t-shirts as well. Moving forward, we have the Denim Jacket, which we will see later, so I won't say too much about it. They have like Just Us or whatever that KITH always does, and then they have a Looney Tunes hat, which we'll also see some Looney Tunes hats later. So it doesn't really pay to spend too much time on the lookbook, just because these are just, you know, renderings or like graphic designs of the actual pieces, so it's not as good, I don't think. But here we have like a all collaborative collective design, including all the Looney Tunes members, or a ton of the Looney Tunes members. And then you also have that on the hat. But I think the cool thing about this piece is when you go to the back, you have Looney Tunes, and then it's got like a fill of all the characters, which I think is kind of cool. So next up, we have a look at the Chuck Taylors. Obviously the Converse Chuck Taylor, very popular shoe. KITH has done a couple of these in the past, I want to say, or maybe even quite a few. I feel like they've done a lot. And I was reading a little bit about this. I think the price point is $130. So Chuck Taylor is usually a relatively cheap shoe. This is obviously not the case, but it does have a lot of custom stuff going on. They have like a 3D embroidery of all the characters on the back. You can see that on the heel, where it's got the kind of like Looney Tunes. I'm not exactly sure what it would be, like the target or whatever. And I don't know if you guys actually watch Looney Tunes, but I remember watching it when I was little. They'd do like the circle and they'd be like, "That's all, folks," and then it'd like close in and do the fade. But definitely reminds me of that. And instead of the Looney Tunes, they have KITH on the bottom with the characters. Another cool, like, interesting detail, I guess, is how they have the little tab on the sole. I really like that. That being said, I've never really been a big fan of Chucks. When it comes to shoes of this style, I usually lean more towards like the Vans Skate High. I think they're a little bit more comfortable, maybe just because like a little bit wider or whatever. But once again, we have this Just Us. I'm not exactly sure what the last word is. Just Us KITH, I don't know. These are the Chuck Taylors. You got close up there. I want to say the other side was embroidered, but yeah, kind of a cool sole. I think these are cool, cool pieces, but yeah, once again, you know, I'm just not crazy about Chuck Taylors, and kind of taxing for $130. So this is easily my favorite part of the collaboration. We have the graphic tees here. I'm not exactly sure what the price point is going to be on them. If I had to guess, I would probably say a little bit more than what the KITH tees usually are, just because of the process, which they have described a little bit on the right. They used like a vintage wash and a certain fabric to make it feel like the 90s shirts, or like the old vintage, the actual old vintage Looney Tunes shirts that you would buy. They tried to give it that aesthetic as well as that feel. So just because of that additional process, it might be, they might like charge a little bit more. Here we have kind of like a side profile of a bunch of the different designs. We got Yosemite Sam, Bugs Bunny, Space Jam, and then I don't know if that's like Elmer Fudd or what, like a bunch of pigs on the end, but another like closer one, I guess. Yeah, I can't remember what the pigs' names are, but yeah. Here we have the Space Jam one, which this might be my favorite. I really do like this one just because of the KITH logo. I think it's really cool how they use that Space Jam font, and then it's also just classic. You know, you got Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck chilling there, all ready to hoop. Here we have just a regular KITH box logo. We've seen this before, and then you have like a very light, it appears. I'm not sure if that's just the like picture or what, but it looks like it's like a very light image of just Bugs Bunny running. Not a big fan of that. I think there are a lot better ones. Moving on, we have the Just Us KITH one, and this is kind of like that's all folks or whatever, the ending for Looney Tunes, and it's just Bugs Bunny with that bullseye. It says Bugs Bunny below it. This one's alright, but definitely the Space Jam one I like more. We have the Tasmanian Devil one where he's got a halo above, and you have this like arc KITH logo, almost like an athletic font. This one is alright, but I think there are better ones, such as this one. I think this one's pretty cool. This is Yosemite Sam. He's got the steam blown over his ears. And then you have like the KITH logo also kind of incorporating or interacting with that steam coming out of his ears because it is layered in front of the H. Here we have another KITH box logo tee, and once again it does appear that that graphic is like kind of lighter. Maybe that's what they're going for with the vintage feel, but yeah, personally just not crazy about these like lighter designs, but it is kind of cool because it is a collective of all the Looney Tunes characters, so it does have that going for it. Next up we have these kind of like horror movie tees that they went for almost, which I believe has the Tasmanian Devil, and then also it's something Martian, like Marvin the Martian or something like that. But I really like these ones. I think these ones are cool. I wish there was some like very subtle KITH branding as well, or like some text to go across the top to give it a little bit more. But that being said, I think these are really cool as well. Like the fade on these is going to be really nice because of how they did the, or just like handled the tees, you know, where it's kind of has this vintage feel. I really like how that works with these designs. I think that's very cool. But I do like these ones. These ones are up there with the Space Jam one for sure. Moving on, we have a look at the knits I was talking about, and just as we saw before, this is exactly what the mock-up was. You just have Bugs Bunny, his big head there, and then kind of like these more detailed sleeves than the chest or like the torso, which is kind of cool. Like this cut and sewed knit looks very nice, very comfortable. But yeah, you got that coming in two colorways, and then across the back, I really like this, how it like arcs across the shoulder blades. I think that's a cool touch. It says Just Us KITH. And then moving on, we have some more. I believe these are just like either long sleeve pocket tees or like crewneck, pocket crew necks, but you just have a Bugs Bunny outline, which I think not as cool. And then like a little KITH logo in the center. You have this Varsity Jacket, which has Just Us KITH on the front, and then the like Looney Tunes bullseye with the whole gang, and then the KITH spell out, which I do like personally. Not crazy about Varsity Jackets, but I can get behind this. And it also does look like it's kind of this channel patch, or I believe that's how it's pronounced, where it's kind of like almost like a carpet material, so it will be raised. I think that's, I really do like those patches. I think that's cool. We also have a look at the Denim Jacket, which once again incorporates that channel patch on the back, you can see. And on the front they have some detailing up on the collar, as well as I believe it says Just Us KITH above the chest. Maybe some more detailing, a little bit hard to tell, but yeah, that's the Denim Jacket. So moving over to Ryan's Instagram, we can get some more sneak peeks, and here we have a design of Bugs Bunny just like kind of sitting on the KITH logo or like leaning up against it. And I would think we'd see these. It'd be kind of weird if they just like did all these graphics and never used them, but I feel like this will be shown off whenever they decide to show off that Bugs Bunny carrot hoodie, because that has not been teased yet either, other than just in that lookbook. Here we have a up-close picture of, or like an actual image of the KITH Space Jam tee, and you know, just looking at it, it looks exactly like an old vintage tee, so I think they hit that really well, and I'm interested to see what the price point is on these. I really hope it's not too much. We also have these caps, which have, I believe, just the KITH logo and then every Looney Tunes character that they're featuring. Personally, like, I don't think that's anything great. It's not really anything creative, since it's literally just the character and just like some copy pasta just put all over it. We have a close-up of that patch, which, you know, once again, I think this looks really cool. You can see the detailing there, how it's like kind of fuzzy. But yeah, I think that looks really cool. Moving forward, we also have this pin set. So all of these pins we're gonna see, and I think it would be safe to probably say we'll see these logos on either t-shirts or hoodies as well. So like up on the top, you have, I believe, Tweety Bird. You have that KITH one that we saw Bugs Bunny leaning up against it. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in this third one. You got the big KITH logo one. You have Just Us with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. Another KITH one with Bugs Bunny. And then KITH one with, I believe, Sylvester the cat. But yeah, anyway, that's all we have for leaks. We also have this video, or like a teaser for a cartoon that's releasing, I believe, tomorrow, which is Saturday when I'm watching it. Maybe it's Sunday. But yeah, they did like an actual cartoon with Ronnie. So that wraps up everything for the collaboration. I think this is a really cool collaboration, a really interesting one. I really like what they did with the t-shirts, not only going for that like old like vintage movie or like band tee feel, but I really like how they actually process the garments to have them, to like actually make them feel like that and look like that, instead of just kind of doing the designs similar to stuff we would see back then. I think that's really cool. Personally, I want to go for that Space Jam one, and then either the Tasmanian like horror movie one or the Martian like horror movie one. I think those ones are probably the best. That's my favorite from what I've seen so far, and it'll be interesting to see how fast this sells out. KITH has some very fast sellout times, like the KITH Godfather collaboration, I believe it was, went very fast. So it'll be interesting to see what the sellout times are like, or if it's like even able to cop, or if it's botted or whatever. But depending on the price points, or even regardless of the price points, I feel like that Space Jam one and some other ones will have some decent resale. But with that being said, what do you guys think of the collaboration? Are you guys planning on going for anything? Do you guys like it? But yes, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.